Hi, I'm Taylor Sparrow.
And I'm Liz June.
And this is
Meat.
If you couldn't tell by our set dressing,
It's about pumpkins.
this is a pumpkin episode.
He's coming to give you a kiss.
Oh. Okay. It's that time of year-ish for pumpkin stuff to start. If you listen to our episode, we gave you lots of history about pumpkin spice everything.
Everything.
Beer and coffee and Pringles.
Spam.
Spam, yeah.
We didn't give you the history of spam, but
It's out there.
it's there.
Watch out. Today we have 3 cocktails to show you using pumpkin. I wanted to think about pumpkin in both the traditional flavors we usually pair with it and also kind of think outside of that pumpkin spice box and make some drinks that maybe if you're not a fan of like sweet pumpkin pie flavoring, you could still enjoy pumpkin in a cocktail. Whenever I know I want to make a drink that has focus on one ingredient, I think about that ingredient first, clearly, and then all the flavors that pair with it. With pumpkin, we have cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, allspice, ginger. But then like the whole other side, like the more savory side or the more herbaceous side, the more vegetal side of pumpkin that we can explore. And with that, you could get into notes of like green pepper or black pepper or sage or thyme, chili or cayenne work really well. Smoky qualities work really well with pumpkin. I really wanted to sort of open up the compatible flavor notes of pumpkin in this little exercise we're gonna do. So we're gonna start off with a drink that's really obvious. We're gonna make a pumpkin spice white Russian. Ooh. It's gonna be like a pumpkin pie latte or pumpkin spice latte, but booze. Then we're gonna do like a shaken pumpkin drink, top it with some pumpkin cider, and that's gonna bring out a bit more of the brighter vegetal qualities of pumpkin. And then we're gonna finish with a really like structured, sophisticated pumpkin spice old fashioned.
Beautiful. Let's get to it.
So the first drink we're gonna do is it's a rum pumpkin drink, and like rumkin sounds like a thing, but it's not a sex act or anything, is it?
I don't think so. Let's Google it.
So we're pretty sure that a rumkin is not a devious sex act, which if it is, it's fine. We just don't want to name a drink after it.
Yeah.
And scene. We have a pumpkin spice syrup. I literally looked up the most basic, like how to dupe a Starbucks pumpkin spice latte syrup.
You can
recipe.
use Google too.
Yes. It's like a sugar-based syrup with pumpkin puree, cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, a little vanilla. Basic pumpkin spice syrup. For our pumpkin spice latte white Russian mashup, our rumkin, we're gonna use 3/4 ounce of our pumpkin spice latte syrup. We're gonna use a little bit of white chocolate syrup.
Yummy.
I had this inspiration because I looked at the secret menu, Starbucks secret menu, not on their website.
Yeah.
But one of the things they do with the pumpkin spice syrup is something they call a Cinderella, because it's like white chocolate and pumpkin, like the carriage.
Ooh.
I thought that sounded really good. So we're gonna do a little bit of white chocolate in here.
Okay.
The base spirit's gonna be rum, and then we're gonna also have some cream and some cold brew concentrate. I will warn you about these pumpkin spice latte syrups. They are great for hot drinks. Cinnamon has a certain viscosity when it infuses in a drink, so it adds a little bit of like a stickiness. Yeah. I'm gonna shake this drink. Usually I would not shake a white Russian. I think it adds a nice frothiness to it, so I'm gonna shake this. It's really just to break up the viscosity of this. 3/4 ounce of my pumpkin syrup. 1/2 ounce of my white cacao. I'm gonna do an ounce of my vegan cream. For rum, we're gonna use Mount Gay Black Barrel, so it's gonna be a nice, rich, dark, kind of like roasty rum.
Barbados.
Last, we're gonna use some cold brew concentrate. I'm gonna do an ounce. This is like a 2-to-1, so it's kind of like adding 2 ounces of cold brew, but that's what I like about this. The concentrates you can use like a little bit and get a good coffee punch.
A little bit goes a long way.
Because really when you think about like the coffee liqueurs, you're not getting a lot of actual coffee in like a Kahlua or something. This allows you to kind of control how much coffee you want in your drink.
Put a little ice cube in there. Oh, that looks beautiful.
Voila, nutmeg. Gonna grate some nutmeg over the top.
Beautiful, gorgeous.
Well, that's nice. That just tastes like melted ice cream.
Melted coffee ice cream.
I'm gonna definitely get the pumpkin spice.
Yeah, I think the pumpkin spice is kind of in your mind.
Pumpkin is not a strong flavor, and we associate the flavors in pumpkin spice with pumpkin. To me, really, like this tastes like nutmeg and cinnamon.
Yeah, this tastes like a beautiful boozy iced coffee.
No, it smells more like pumpkin spice than it tastes.
Oh yeah, yeah it does. Smells like a little pumpkin pie in there.
For the next drink, we're gonna do a shaken pumpkin cocktail, and we're gonna use kind of a weird component that I made that I'm actually pretty excited about. The recipe will also be down below. I made a pumpkin liqueur. The thing that I was trying to get around is that, look, I love pumpkin spice as much as the next person, but I find that it's very cinnamon forward, which if you look at the recipe, it is. It's heavy on cinnamon. I kind of wanted to pull back on the more prominent spices in pumpkin and pair pumpkin with a different flavor profile. So my pumpkin liqueur, I actually took grain neutral spirit and soaked in it roasted kabocha, which is a Japanese pumpkin. It's a little bit more vegetal, a little less sugar than like our pie pumpkins. And I paired that with some sage and just a little bit of ginger and some green peppercorns. Then I sweetened it in equal parts with maple syrup. This is a maple pumpkin sage liqueur. For this drink, one of those early like Puritan cocktails. Puritan cocktail sounds weird, but they had up, I don't know, different times. They liked flips, which is traditionally rum, sugar, egg, and then usually like in this sense it would be pumpkin beer on top.
They're like, how do we make this nut fun? Put an egg in it.
I guess so, because it's like pumpkin beer at that time was probably pretty boring, so like the sugar and everything would make it better, but then you added the egg to make it, I don't know, sustenance. Blech. We're gonna make an homage to a flip, but the big thing about a flip is it always has an egg in it, and I don't want a whole egg in my drink because I'm a vegan.
I'm not a vegan. I just don't want an egg in my drink.
We're gonna keep some of the elements. We're gonna mainly toss away
the egg.
Most of
the egg. We're gonna get rid of that.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our pumpkin liqueur for a base spirit. We get really far away from the original colonies, so we're gonna use some mezcal. Our citrus is gonna be lemon, and then to top this, we're gonna use some pumpkin cider.
Surprise guest.
I guess this is more of like a Collins, really. I don't know. It's its own thing. So we're gonna call this the pumpkin pie.
It's a pumpkin pie. It's a pumpkin pious because Puritans did a pumpkin flip.
And they also thought pumpkin was somehow holier than mincemeat.
Yeah.
Someday I'll make my Whores of Babylon mincemeat cocktail. Hail Satan, eat pie! I have 2 ounces of mezcal in there. I'm gonna do an ounce of my pumpkin liqueur. And then I'm gonna do an ounce of lemon juice. Alright, we're gonna pour this in a glass over ice. And then we're gonna top with some, we have some hard pumpkin cider.
Ooh.
And then I just got a little piece of ginger and a lemon that I'm gonna throw on there as garnish.
Beautiful.
So there we go.
It's gorgeous.
Here's pumpkin pies.
Pumpkin pies.
Pumpkin pies.
That
is
is nice. I love this.
The fun fact about this drink is the sour balances out really nice because the liqueur is very sweet, but the base of the liqueur that I used, it was an overproof grain neutral spirit, so it was like 96%.
It's like a rectified spirit.
Yeah.
With the spirits!
So even cutting it 50% with maple syrup to make it a liqueur and make it sweet, it still clocks in at about 40% alcohol. So this drink is still like, you know, you've got the full, like the full proof mezcal, you've got a full shot of our liqueur, which clocks in at about 38% alcohol, and then the lime juice, and then the cider on top. So it's a pretty powerful drink for a little guy, and it's very sweet and very welcoming.
So
I relate to this drink. Sweet, yellow, will fuck you up. Hi. You could drink this and you could get some vegetable notes and definitely the sage. Definitely like a kind of a warmth from the pumpkin, but what you don't get is pumpkin spice. What you don't get is sweet cinnamon.
You don't get any of that.
The last drink we have planned is an old-fashioned variant, sort of. It's kind of somewhere between an old-fashioned and an old pal, which is like a whiskey-based Negroni. We don't have any syrup in this. When I was looking for things that paired with pumpkin, something that came up a lot was not actually a flavor pairing, but that Scotch often is attributed a roasted pumpkin seed flavor. So that seemed like a good jumping off point. It's specifically like peat scotches that have that roasted pumpkin note. But I wanted to kind of build a drink in a Scotch profile that highlighted pumpkin. What we're gonna do is we're gonna mix a little bit of Lefroy, which is a single malt Scotch. It has a lot of peat, with a Johnny Walker Red, which is a blended Scotch. We're gonna use our pumpkin liqueur, and then we're also gonna use a little ancho-raise, which is like a spicy ancho liqueur. So we're gonna play up a bit more of like the spicy vegetal quality of pumpkin with this, hopefully. And then the only element of like pumpkin spice we're gonna bring into it is gonna be a little bit of Angostura bitter. So we're gonna use a ½ ounce of our pumpkin liqueur, a ½ ounce of our ancho raise liqueur, then an ounce and a half of our blended Scotch whiskey. Couple dashes of mango. I'm gonna stir this over ice. For the garnish, I'm gonna use a flamed orange peel just to bring out a little bit more smokiness.
Ooh, you're gonna flame it.
Flame it! Also to bring out the smokiness, I'm gonna do a little float. That's where the Lefroy is gonna come in. Single malt Scotch over top. A ½ ounce is what you want, but you can I usually just pour it over the back of a spoon. You can do a rinse in the glass ahead of time, but I like a little bit heavier volume than what you get when you just rinse the glass in it. So as always, I'm going to warm up my peel first, just to kind of get those oils loose, and then, woo! Here is my smoky pumpkin old fashioned. We didn't get a name for this. Who was the dude that liked the great pumpkin? Linus?
From Charlie Brown. Old Smoky Linus. Pumpkin Linus? No. It's the great pumpkin. It's a great flaming pumpkin.
The great flaming pumpkin. The big gay pumpkin!
The big gay pumpkin.
It's the big gay pumpkin. I think Linus would be fine. I'm not saying he's one of us. I'm saying he's definitely an ally.
Yes.
Let's try this big gay pumpkin. Oh,
so that's nice.
Right?
It's an old fashioned with like the spices hit you after.
Yeah, the finish, the residual is very much like a bright pepper spice.
Yes.
Like it's very hot. But then the front end is very like smoky and sweet, like molasses.
It's very, it's very chocolatey.
Yeah. The kind of person that wants to drink a pumpkin spice latte, which is fine. It's not like this drink is necessarily the same person. Like they're very different. That's really the goal that I wanted to demonstrate here, is that pumpkin's just an ingredient. If you like it, you can use it in savory applications, in like dry applications, in spicy applications, in sweet applications. If you're a bartender who wants to experiment with it or put it on a menu, or you're just a home chef that really loves it and wants to mess around with it. It is a perfectly applicable ingredient in the world of cocktails. And while I think it is perfectly great paired with what it is traditionally paired with, you also have a whole world of flavors and applications that you can work like really great drinks with.
This one wants to kiss you now.
What do you think? Oh, you like?
Oh, it's so yummy.
This is some sort of like, are you a fancy person test? Can you sup your old fashioned from a teacup while balancing a pumpkin upon your head? The answer is yay. We are fancy people.
Super fancy people. Super fancy pumpkin people.
Cheers. I've been Taylor Sproul.
And I've been Liz June.
And this has been
Neat! Cheers to you. Goodbye.
Enjoy a pumpkin.